Okay. I'm back. Happy Friday. I'm going to do something that I have not done in a long time, is join a classical arena tournament on LiChess. It's a weekly classical arena. I am late joining. It's a 5-hour tournament. Halfway through. I'm not sure if I'll play the remaining 2.5 hours, but we'll see. I'll take it one game at a time. One move at a time. Welcome to the early joiners. So the plan, in terms of the openings that I'll play, is to follow the ChessMood repertoire as closely as possible. I have been posting some recent lessons to YouTube. Oh, I have Zen mode turned on. I'm going to keep Zen mode turned on for the first game. I forgot this was enabled. I think it's been a while since I last streamed on LiChess. So I don't actually know who I'm playing. But we'll play a French attack. I could transpose to Sicilian. Let's just play d5. Interesting. Okay, so if I play c5, that invites a wing gambit. I'm pretty sure I had asked Grandmaster Gregorian about this line, and I think he just suggested bishop d7. And after d4, we transpose into this nice line against advanced variation. White plays a3. Interesting. I'm going to play a6. I just want to trade off my bad French bishop. It's a main positional idea. White plays b4. So I wonder if they would have gone for wing gambit. Now there is some potential problem here. If I play bishop b5, white has d3 followed by c4. Which is kind of annoying. I wonder if I can start with this. Let's do it. Looks weird. This is a slower time control than what I usually play. Yesterday I played the 3-0 Thursday on chess.com. This is 20 plus 10, I think? I think it's 20 plus 10. My opponent has more time than they started with. Okay, bishop d3. Maybe flirting with the idea of taking my knight. Now g6 is sometimes a standard move here. Another move that comes to mind is bishop b5, allowing takes and takes. And even if I get double pawns, the bishop is actually really nicely placed on that diagonal. White wouldn't be able to castle. Let's do it. Welcome back to Zactris. Happy 62 months. AWJ, happy 2 months. Welcome to everyone on YouTube as well. There's a question, will you be playing the Scotch? The answer is hopefully. If I manage to be white, which should happen eventually, and if I encounter e4, e5, then the Scotch is the game plan. I'm not sure if the alerts are coming through. Is it muted? I have to monitor. Okay. Okay, so white plays c3. Now, it is kind of a question. Do I want to take immediately?
I am proud to say I officially have all the I Feel So Dirty Rosen trophies.
Oh, thank you, Simsei. I think the previous alerts came through, but I didn't hear them. I heard that one. All right, let me focus here for a moment, because the tension remains between the bishops. I think I will just take what was maybe preparing like bishop c2 and a4. Bishop b7 looks normal.
I will probably be playing an over-the-board USCF Blitz tournament in around a month. Time control is 3+2. Any advice? You're the best.
Oh, thank you, chess nerd. Over the board, USCF Blitz, 3+2. Most important thing is have fun. Tactics are very important in Blitz, so try and make sure you're tactically sharp. Also sleep. Like if you sleep well, then your mind will naturally be more alert, more focused. Like sleep, diet, exercise are things that a lot of chess players overlook when it comes to tournament preparation. G3, kind of a random move. All right, let's play Queen D7. I was going to say if G4, I think I have the move Knight H4. I don't mind the trade of knights. With Queen G7, I'm looking to play very positionally. If we can trade queens on B5, especially if I can make the A file half open, then that is a dream. Constant pressure along with a eventual outpost on C4. So white plays A4. That makes sense. The other idea is to go for C5. Okay, I'll play B6. Now, because I've unintentionally started the game in Zen mode, I guess I'll do guess Elo. It's kind of hard to guess at this point. Like white's played a little bit strangely in the opening with this like A3, B4. But they haven't done anything wrong. Oh, thank you, RVKB. Appreciate the super chat. That's very kind. Okay, I do have to be careful here of G4. Because there's no longer Knight H4. I'm going to play H5. Just ensuring that knight's not going to be kicked. The drawback of this move is it gives white better control over G5 because the pawn can't move backwards. But I don't think it's a huge deal. Thank you. Yeah, thank you to Cole. Thank you, I'm Lawrence Anderson. Thank you, Greta Lapi, gifting to Zefcat. That's very kind. Was Zefcat here or just kindly gifting a sub? Appreciate that. Okay, so white castles. Do I actually want to go for C5? I take and take and take and take. I think it makes sense. I do eventually want to develop the knights. And usually when you play the French, you want to develop the knights behind the c-pawn. Hello to Namco. Welcome back. Happy 22. I'm not in so much rush to castle. But I might want to castle eventually to get the rook to a file that might end up opening. Thank you, Mulfer. Appreciate so many resubs. Appreciate everyone being here. This is a more kind of chill, slower paced stream, as maybe you guys can see, especially compared to yesterday. Yesterday I played Magnus Carlsen. It was the second round of the first tournament. I could be playing Magnus again, for all I know, but I don't think it's likely. Okay, so white is offering the trade of bishops. Let's complete development. K Sharma says, I started watching your videos to sleep and then ended up being too excited. Oh no, your sleep, but oh yes, your excitement. Yeah, sometimes the games end up being exciting and they're not the best things to sleep to. But I still understand for for those of you that maybe use this content as a sleep aid. Thank you to Lanku, happy 29. What rating is this? So yeah, for anyone just joining and maybe confused that there's no information about my opponent, I started the game in Zen mode, which is a setting on LiChess. It hides my opponent's name and rating. If I had to guess, I mean, I'd say 2000 plus. It's pretty decent quality game. No obvious blunders. At the same time, I'm feeling comfortable. I feel like I've achieved what I wanted from the opening. Some nice piece harmony. I don't think there's any major issues with black setup. And going forward into the maybe later stages of the middle game, I think the plans are very clear. Like I want a castle, I want to use the rooks to pressure the queen side, keeping tension between these pawns. At some point I'll decide like if I want to take or push. Am I watching the World Cup? To be honest, I have not. I watched a little bit of tennis. There's an event happening in Berlin. Which match was I watching? I was watching Rybakina against Ayala. But I've not been watching the World Cup. Maybe at some point, if I can be convinced. Okay, so we trade the darks for bishops. We both have a pair of knights. I'm never scared of white taking. That would allow me to take back, and then the c pawn and the e pawn would both be targets. Even maybe the g pawn, because yeah, potential tactics. So white plays rook e1, which looks like a very normal move, but I don't think it does that much. This file's closed. Sometimes a move like rook e1 signals that white wants to take and make sure the pawn's defended. Now I'm trying to think, like, is there any risk with castling, like knight g5? I think it's still very solid, like g6 can come. I think there's a lot of benefit to not only connecting the rooks, but having potential to double up on one of the files on the queen side. Okay, so white is completing development. Now the rook is kind of tied down to a6. Okay, I'm going to play a very kind of innocuous, nonchalant move, rook fc8, but it's a very tricky move. I'm setting up a potential tactic. If I get one more move to take and white takes back, then I think black is winning material after knight b4, which would fork the queen and the potential fork. But now, yeah, probably doesn't win material. I still might go for it, though. Looks like a nice way to make progress. And there is a potential outpost, like after takes, knight b4 and a5. The knight can be very strong in white's territory. There is queen a3. Knight c2, and then we trade. I think if queen a3, I just play a5. Queen b3. Always gotta consider the knight jumps. But a5 is looking good. The knight is super solid here. Very hard for white to remove. White would maybe want to try this and this, but it takes time. But this still takes work. There's the question how to make progress. The rooks are staring at each other. Queen a7 is one of the first moves that come to mind. Like d4 is a weakness. And if I attack it, how does white defend? So I'm controlling all these squares. I guess there's queen b2, but then there's some knight d3 ideas. Yeah, queen a7 looks nice. Yeah, the problem for white is the knights are actually pretty restricted. Like, this knight is restricted by white's own pawns. This knight is restricted by white's pieces and also this pawn. Meanwhile, these knights are doing a lot more in the position. I'm going to make a prediction that within the next, let's say, 4 moves, I'm going to have some kind of fork. Like knight d3 or knight e2. I'll be impressed if white can, like, avoid losing material for the next few moves. I'm still really not sure what to guess in terms of my opponent's rating. Like, I think white's made maybe a few positional mistakes that have compounded, but they haven't really done anything glaringly wrong. Like, if I had to guess, maybe in the range of like 1800 to 2000? Let's say 1900. I should also admit that I'm not super familiar with the LiChess classical rating scale. Like, I'm more familiar with the rapid rating scale, so I'd probably guess 1900 rapid. I'm not sure if that's like higher or lower classical, maybe around the same. Hey, it's Irina Crush, back in Twitch chat. Good to see you. I forgot to mention yesterday, I saw Irina a couple days ago at the St. Louis airport. Not the real Irina, but a photo of Irina. There's a restaurant that has a branch at the main airport in St. Louis, Kingside Diner. I think they opened their airport location maybe a year or two ago, maybe a few years ago. But they have a TV monitor with rotating pictures of chess players. And there's at least 1 or 2 photos of Irina, along with, who else did I see? Jennifer Yu, Hikaru, Fabiano. I watched the monitor until it like looped through the whole slideshow, and I was slightly disappointed that there were no photos of me, but that's okay. I don't think there were any photos of Magnus either. Mainly the US players. So anyway, if you're just joining, this is obviously much slower chess than usual. This is my first game of the stream. I've joined the LiChess, was it? The weekly weekly classical arena on LiChess. It's a 5-hour tournament. I joined 2.5 hours late. I made the promise, or at least an attempted promise, to play the ChessMood opening repertoire in every game. So this game was a French attack. I tried to use some of the ideas of the repertoire. This is also Zen mode, so at some point, Once the game finishes, my opponent's rating will be revealed. The opponent's taking time. Yeah, it does feel like a critical moment. Like white is obviously under pressure. Queen b2 would probably be the first move to calculate. Maybe takes and then queen b2. Queen a3. So can I get away with taking the free pawn? Is it poison? There's a line, takes, and then queen e3, attempting to pin, but then I can take with check. So I think I'll do it. Is there a queenside diner on the other end of the airport? Not yet, not yet, but maybe someday there will be. Yeah, for now there's just kingside. There is a new restaurant that opened like right next to the chess club. It's kind of attached to the chess club, but it's not called Queenside. It's called Noble Crown, which looks really good. Seems like kind of fancy dining. So again, queen e3. I think I just take. There's knight c2 though, which is kind of cool looking. There's also the idea, like if it's my move in this position, I might be threatening rook c3. Oh no, my rook, but oh no, white's queen. Rook c3 would also essentially fork the queen and knight. Okay, now it doesn't work. The king is not immediately forkable. What did I say? I predicted I would have a fork within 4 moves from about 4 moves ago. It might not happen. I'm gonna take a moment here. Feels like I should have some tactic, maybe not. Okay, let's identify some candidate moves. So I can take, and if takes back with knight, I have rook c2 to pressure the f-pawn. There'd be queen takes. But then the knight's still restricted, and then queen d4 looks nice, hitting the knight and the undefended pawn. I said I would consider candidate moves, but I think I've considered my favorite candidate move. Maybe this will be the fork that I predicted. If knight takes, okay, rook c2. Yeah, let's do it. I think the only way to defend is rook f1. I want to get the knight to d3, but the queen controls d3. Can I maybe eventually start pushing the pawn? I kind of like the idea of queen c5, just like gradually improve. Pushing. And there's push. Oh, there's actually the idea of push rook c3, queen b7. White's queen is really restricted. I guess a knight can move, like push knight g5. I'm still gonna do it. Sometimes pushing is a sign of impatience. I could keep the pawn defended and like decide later if I want to push it, but I don't think there's much risk because when I play pawn d3, it's supported by the knight. And yeah, it looks like a very sad position for white. I like the idea of opening the diagonal. Do we know if the opponent is a title player? I have no idea who my opponent is. It's probably not Magnus Carlsen. But who knows? Rook c1? Okay. I'm liking d3. But again, I'll take a moment. Let's calculate d3. Takes. Queen c3. How to actually queen the pawn. I have knight d3 there. Yeah, it looks good. Actually, with queen c3, white does have these ideas of like queen c8 combined with knight g5. So I'm thinking maybe a simpler idea is queen b7. Preventing both moves. Controlling c8, pinning the knight. And there's a nice tactic. Yeah, queen takes f3 or queening first. The queen is overworked here. I don't think it makes a huge difference. Let's give the queen. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. 2152. Yeah, again, my opponent like played a lot of like very normal moves. I don't think there were any obvious blunders. I had at some point I had guessed 1900 just because some of the moves were hard to understand. But to be fair, yeah, they were under pressure. Yeah, actually, if we check game review, my opponent made no blunders and no mistakes, but 6 inaccuracies, which is perhaps one of the signs of a nice positional game. Nice kind of steady decline. So hopefully an instructive game from the French. I made 2 inaccuracies. Engine does not like knight h6. Oh yeah, queen d7. Yeah, I realized maybe after the fact the queen isn't like so great on d7, especially after a4. But I've managed to build up a nice setup on the queen side. There's a comment, knight d3 before queen b7. Oh, well, I don't know if that works. If knight d3, it does attack this, but after takes, I don't have this, unfortunately. Yeah, I was thinking of tactics, though, of even like taking on f2. Very fancy way of trading everything, but yeah, would not be necessary. So back to tournament. Next game I'll play with no Zen mode, so I'll know my opponent. Let me see my preferences here. Zen mode. Okay. So that was the first game of the stream. Been streaming for just over half hour. Yeah, this is a type of stream where I might just play a handful of games. But I do hope they're instructive. Hope people can learn a thing or two. There's a comment, I haven't seen you play at Cambridge Springs in so long. Yeah, I have slightly unfortunate news that I don't think we're going to have a Cambridge Springs. At least a stream. I plan to play e6 on move 1 and go for either the Dutch or the French. Okay. Playing Aronian. Is this Lavan Aronian's alt account? Alright, e4. So going for the Grand Prix attack. Now ChessMood has a very high level advanced course with bishop b5. There's also f4 here, which is like the more traditional Grand Prix. I'm going to play f4 because I almost always play bishop b5. And with this, yeah, here I can play bishop b5, and this is one of the very common positions that you can get when playing the Grand Prix. And even though black has gained space, kicked my knight, these pawns are potentially going to be very weak in the long term. I think I'll start with b3, making sure that c4 is not a resource. And the plan is very positional here. I could go for the attack, but I could also go for like complete positional domination. I'll start with a4. Yeah, this is an incredibly pleasant position. I have the idea of bishop a3, get the knight to c4, but also I can really pick or choose like how I want to play, if I want to go for checkmate sooner or later. Slightly depressing bishop. Put the queen on g3. There's a question, do you worry about dark square weaknesses in the Grand Prix? Not when I have a dark square bishop. It may seem like because most of my pawns are on light squares, dark squares are potentially vulnerable, but black has no way to exploit them. Okay, knight e5 looks nice. Beginning to unleash the rook. The knight has a happy square on c4, which will always pressure the a5 pawn. And from black's perspective, it's very difficult to find an active plan. Like, the pieces are just very restricted. There's no obvious pawn breaks. G4, G5 might be the main attacking plan. Combined with f5, unleash the bishop. So knight's attacked. I think we're going to see either g6 or knight back to f6. Now with g6, h6 is more of a target. Let's start with g4. f5 or g5 coming very soon. I think f5 is going to be the next move. It's calculating knight g7. f5 unleashes the bishop, threatens queen takes h6. There's a calculation, bishop g5. I was thinking f6. Bishop takes f6, queen takes h6, king g8. I think it should be good. It'll take a moment though. Briefly looking at queen takes h6, but that doesn't really pan out. f5, bishop g5. I take first. Take. f5, bishop g5, f6, bishop f6. I just want to find something clearer. Bishop g5, take. I guess there's queen e3 ideas. Okay, I have an idea. It's a deep calculation. f5, bishop g5, f6, bishop takes f6, queen h6, king g8, rook f3. I sack the knight, rook h3. Unfortunately, there's f6 and the king runs. One more time. f5, bishop g5, f6, take. Take king g8. Can I sack the rook? Sack the rook, take, knight d7. Feels really close. Like, it's such a nice position. I feel bad spending so much time here. Okay, let's play f5. I mean, I should have an idea what my follow-up is, but I'll take some time to think on my opponent's turn. Let's keep calculating. Bishop g5. Is there this? I don't have queen h5 there. Okay, black plays g5. Which, to be honest, I was not considering. That's a move. I have this move, rook f3. I think I have to make just accepts the fact that I can't win like immediately, but the position is still really, really good. And I can be patient. And rook f3 looks nice. There might be some ideas of sacking. Although I can't go too insane. Takes, rook h3, knight h5, and I'm not actually mating. So that would probably be a failed queen sacrifice. My plan might just be bishop d2 and rook a f1 and get all the pieces to the party. I still have the option of playing positionally too. I'm also dreaming of the idea of sacking the queen. Is there any way where it can work? I think I need the pawn on f6. Like somehow. Yeah, if I can play this and this, then f6 becomes a threat. Thank you, someone. Getting merch. Oh, getting the Oh No My Queen t-shirt. Very nice. Yeah, Xlam merch if you want to get some shirts or hats or mugs. Ooh. Okay. I mean, let's calculate. Takes. Check, knight h5 takes here. Oh, it feels close. Nah, it doesn't work. If I play this, and then take, but that doesn't work because after this, there's king g6. I really want to sack, but it's classical chess, so I have to, have to make sure it actually works. F6, sack the knight, bishop g5. I'm threatening mate in 2. There's h5 there. Yeah, knight c4 is maybe the move to go for. Again, I'm going to take a moment. As much as I want to make this work, f6, take. Oh, h5, I could take and take. Yeah, that looks pretty good. f6, take h5. I feel like I can also just leave the tension. All right, let's do it. So I've sacked a knight, but I'm having fun. So the main threat is queen h6 and queen takes g7. I think this is the only move to resist. Someone else getting merch. Also getting a Oh No My Queen t-shirt. Very nice. Thank you, thank you. Okay, the Grand Prix attack is in full swing. I'm still trying to think, like, is it worth taking immediately? I can maybe prepare. Oh wow, knight f5. Let's sack the rook. Yeah, just removing the defender of h6. Again, threatening mate in 2. I don't think black has a defense now. Yeah, I take with I take with rook to keep the pawn defended. If I took with pawn, then black could maybe fight a bit longer. Why isn't I am playing against a 1700? LOL. I've joined the weekly classical arena, so I late joined. So in order to play higher rated players, I have to win some games towards the bottom of the standings first. But the games take a while, so it might take some time before I can work my way up. But the goal is to be instructive. It's a more relaxed stream. And hopefully a good illustration of how to play these openings too. And this is kind of a model Grand Prix attack. Got the nice positional setup. Got the middle game attack. Yeah, this game should finish soon, but we might be here for a little bit longer. I could consider berserking. Also, there's a question mark next to my rating, which indicates I have not played classical in a long time. Why do you like LiChess more than chess.com? First of all, I like both platforms. LiChess is, first of all, it's completely free. It's open source. I think a lot of the features are built better. Also, okay, opponent resigned. Yeah, clean game. But there's a lot of things that I like more about chess.com too. It's a stronger player pool. They have a lot of like well-run prize events. So there's just good things about both sides. One inaccuracy this game. Oh yeah, going back. What did I want to do? Oh yeah, I was scheduling bishop g5, f6. Wait, there's takes and knight f7 here. I wonder if I would have found that. Okay, back to tournament. Moving on. There's a question, is the speedrun finished? The Tricks and Traps speedrun is, I'd say, temporarily paused, but a new speedrun is starting soon. I actually recorded like the first episode of the new speedrun. So I'm hoping to finish editing so I can post within the next few days. Over the cold. I feel much better than yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, especially yesterday morning, I was maybe visibly ill on stream while playing Magnus. But today I feel better, not 100%, but good enough to stream. Approaching the 1 hour mark of this stream. Okay. White could go into a French, or if White plays like London or c4, I was ready to play Dutch. Okay, we have transposition into French. I had this exact position against Magnus Carlsen yesterday, playing the Kinder Surprise. Knight f3. So most players play f4. I think with knight f3, the plan is still the same. Get some kind of advanced variation. The knight eventually wants to go to f5. What is the theme of the new speedrun? Subscribe on YouTube and you'll find out shortly. All right, knight c6. Yeah, so the main idea here is to exploit the fact White hasn't played c3, So white can't really maintain the usual pawn center. Eventually these pawns will be traded, and then e5 can hopefully become a weakness. I think here I just take. And I can already win the center pawn. It's possible white will have some compensation. I mean, white has all 4 minor pieces developed. I have 1 minor piece developed. But I should have pretty fluid development going forward. I have 2 center pawns, white has none. f4? Okay, let's put the knight back. If f5, I can probably respond with e5. If bishop e5, I develop and break the pin. Some potential pawn fork in the air. I think white has to trade, yeah, otherwise the fork would happen. Feeling very good here. I'm kind of playing this like a blitz game, more time than I started with, but the moves are just coming very naturally. Bishop c5, develop with tempo. I'm dreaming of some mating attack. Let's keep improving with tempo. Tickling the b2 pawn. Some bishop. Bishop d4 looks nice. Knight's not defended. Queen d3. We're looking at queen a5 here. I guess there's bishop d2. Wait, do I have a tactic? Oh, there might be a really nice line. Bishop takes c3, which is very anti-positional. Usually you should not concede the bishop pair and especially capture a pinned piece. But the idea is after... Wait, it doesn't work. I thought knight e4, but there's queen takes c6 check. Never mind. I got excited for a moment. Okay, let's play queen a5. Provoke bishop d2, and then maybe I'll put the queen on c7. Or b6. I am dreaming of knight f2. Maybe a g4, e4. Still looking for tactics. Queen g3 might be coming. Okay, let's play queen c7. I was actually thinking, if queen g3, I might play king f8, keeping the rook on the h-file to eventually play h5, h4. Like, there is some dream of getting the pawn here and knight here to g3. So white unpins a knight. I don't think there's too many dangerous knight moves. All right, let's go for this. If bishop e3, I can take either thing and then fork. Okay. Oh, now do I have this? So earlier, I wanted to do this, but c6 was undefended. Here, after takes and this... Oh, there's queen e3, though. Knight g4 now? Take a moment here. If knight g4 and take, then the rook is very happy. I'm also considering this. Just calculating a little bit further. So knight g4, let's say take knight e2. What's my follow-up? Like almost some rook sack. Knight e2, bishop e6. Okay, I'm going to do it. To be honest, I don't see like a super concrete line, but I'm trusting my intuition. I mean, 2 bishops, up a pawn, very clear target, and the white king. I haven't castled this game. So far, there has not been a need. Queen f3. This looks crushing. Another benefit of my queen on c7 helps target h2. If queen g3, I can take and win the knight. Okay, I didn't calculate this. Take. At the very least, I should win a piece. Yeah, there's so many targets in the position. Queen, the knight, the pawn, the king. Okay. Yeah, it can be easy to miss such such a move with so much happening in the center. Nice game, nice smooth French attack. And white center kind of crumbled, won the pawn, built up the big black center, and life was good. Let's keep it going. Top 200. So I've played 3 games so far. We got about 90 minutes left. Just checking my stream. I've dropped no frames. Okay, that's good. About an hour into the stream. Here we go. Playing Seahawks fan 2026. Let's play e6. I've had a few Frenches today. We have a Dutch. I wouldn't mind seeing London or c4. All right, Dutch time. I think just bishop b4 immediately. To be honest, I don't recall the exact theory, but I think the general principle is when you can pin the knight like this, you just do it. And if you can take and double the pawns, you just do it. It's really the main point of the opening. And going forward, I want to get this set up with b6 I play this. Let's play b6 first. Oh, thank you, Stockfish. Sharing an interesting giant emote. Looks like a stuck bishop. Okay, here I have a unstuck bishop. A very happy fianchetto. It's a question. Do I play this? Do I continue with the setup? I'm gonna play h6. Eventually I want to play g5 and potentially g4. If takes, I activate the queen. And assuming like castles, which I think is pretty likely, then my middle game plan will be to attack on the king side. Right, the pawn swarm combines very nicely with the b7 bishop. Super Potzer says, now this looks like a Dutch defense. It looks like a Dutch attack to me. More attacking potential than any need to defend. Now there is the idea of playing positionally, like the eventual c5 and exploit the double pawns. But, okay. Next few moves are going to be very natural. Like castle's queenside. I guess the potential pawn swarm looked too scary to my opponent, which is fair. But now I might shift my plans a little bit. Like, can I attack on the queen side? Like this and this comes to mind. If I play knight d7, I need to have a plan in mind. This also comes to mind. Yeah, I think I like this idea a bit more. Knight c6 to a5. I'm inviting d5 though. Knight c6, d5. You have to watch out for like d5, knight d4 ideas. Yeah, I am looking at this move, like c5 right away. If takes, I take back with a d pawn, and actually it looks really nice for black. And if white doesn't take, maybe I castle kingside and then like keep the pawn tension. And a4 doesn't hurt me. Let's do it. I think Hikaru calls this the bathtub. Pawn's shaped like a bathtub. But this is such a typical idea. It's actually reminiscent of lines in the Nimzo Indian. But also the Grand Prix attack, when you double the c-pawns and you blockade with your own c-pawn. Okay, white is eventually wanting to play g4. That's interesting. My castle. Basically saying that I'm not scared of g4. So if g4 too soon, I take and the knight's hit. Yeah, I think I just castle here. Still staying flexible how to develop the knight. g3? Okay, let's play knight c6. So I'm temporarily blocking the bishop, but eventually I think the knight wants to go here and just constantly pressure the c-pawn. There might be situations where the bishop's overworked, defending this and this. After g3, it's kind of a sign that white might be unsure what to do. I guess d5 is an interesting idea, trying to transform the position. Earlier, I was a little bit concerned about the idea of d5 and knight d4, which is why it's nice having a pawn on c5, making sure the knight can't easily improve. So knight d2, maybe preparing this. Okay, I think I'll go for knight a5. Yeah, g4 might be coming. If g4, I could maybe take and win f2. Although that might be a bit greedy. Like we get some initiative. I was going to say there's also f4. Knight b3. So takes the pawns actually become very solid for white. Can I start with this? Bishop e4. I'm not sure about bishop e4 and queen b2. There's a line, bishop e4, queen b2, knight b7. I wonder if I can allow taking. If I start with this, takes and takes. It looks ugly having the double A pawns, but the B file is open. My bishop should be better than white's bishop. Yeah, I think I do it. Keeping tension. It's nice keeping this pawn fixed on c4. Like, it's hard for white to activate the bishop effectively. And with the king committed to the queen side and the fully open b file, I should be having more fun. Like, this pawn looks weak, but white can't easily attack it. I could maybe try and take some time to win it, but yeah, I think king safety is going to be more relevant than material. There's a question. Glad to see you. Will you play Avatik's repertoire? That's what I'm doing. Yeah, all games this tournament, I'm playing this ChessMood repertoire. For anyone that's still unaware, ChessMood is unlocking all their courses through the end of June through my link, chessmood.com/Rosen. It's a great thing to take advantage of if you want to get some very high quality instruction, especially learn these openings along with me. Okay, rook b8, rook b1, bishop e4, bishop d3. Yeah, the king looks ridiculous here, but the center is still pretty closed. This takes work. Considering d5. e5 also comes to mind. But e5, d5, bishop d7. Idea would be to eventually play f4. How to do this? Yeah, originally I just wanted to play rook b8 and chill. But white neutralizes a file. Hmm. Yeah, usually positions like this, you want to identify the weakness and target the weakness, but it's actually hard to exploit anything in white's position. Take another moment looking at this. e5, d5, bishop d7, let's say rook b1, f4. Take. I could also start with this, rook b1, and then go for e5. There's also the inclusion of this. Yeah, there's a lot of different like permutations. Even like this, and then d5. And trying to open the center, get to the king. Yeah, let's say bishop e4, bishop d3, d5. Or what if e5 there? Wait, bishop e4 here, e5. And then if d5, I take, and then rook b8, rook b1. I'm going to start with this and then decide if I want to play like d5 or e5. But this is the most promising plan that I think I've identified. Like starting with this, I don't think led to much. I don't want to trade rooks. I'm expecting bishop d3. I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that after bishop d3, it doesn't look so appealing for white to take my bishop, because that would open that file. f2 becomes a target. So the idea is to leave tension and build up pressure. I think this is the way to go. Like e5 just kind of closes things down. This aims to open things up. It's like my opponent is slightly off balance with the king on d2. And I'm trying to knock them over before they can find their balance. Okay, c4 is super interesting. Because c4 essentially forces bishop takes e4. Like the bishop's pinned to the queen. So c4 takes, and then I achieve the goal of opening the f file, but I have to calculate. So c4 take. If queen takes, I take forcing king c1, and then rook b8. Is that enough? I'd be threatening mate in 1. There's queen c2, queen takes c2, king takes c2. Maybe it's not enough. It's close though. I eventually take back. That should be good actually. c4 take. There's also queen a2. I lose e6 with check, but king h8. White's king is super vulnerable with rook b8 coming. I think what's more likely too is after c4 take, White probably defends a pawn, like rook f1, and then I take. And then my pawns are smiling. If rook b1... Then probably rook b8. The rook's tied down. Let's do it. I'm liking how the position's transforming. Like very dramatic transformation of the structure. But I think it's in my favor. I have not captured a single white pawn this game. Though I'm ready to capture one of the pawns next move. Okay, so rook f1 was kind of expected. Now I take. Pawns are happy. Oh, I should have considered taking. Take. That was maybe playable, but also maybe not necessary. Could still be an idea next move. Although if I do this, like take, let's say king c1, take, White's more ready to come in. So I think it's better to challenge the file. I think the problem for White is going to be the fact that like f2 is a constant liability, and also the b file. I'm ready to come in even further. I think I can spread White thin, like using the f and b files. Oh, I have two different beverages. I have iced tea, and I have what used to be ice water, but now it's just normal water. Still some ice and iced tea. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not sure what to expect here from White. King e1, kind of a sad move. If king e1, the rooks get disconnected, I might be able to play this and then double up. I mean, there's also queen f3, and there could be some eventual zigzag. Or some eventual king walk, like into g2, would be kind of funny. If white's just completely paralyzed. Really not sure what else I can expect. I was briefly calculating rook b2, which then allows the line takes, and takes, and we trade everything. Although that might be losing for me. I'd be up a pawn, but white's king would be closer to taking my pawns. There's a downside of double A pawns and the king that's not yet activated. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about this position. Generally, you're supposed to like stay focused on your opponent's time, but at this point, we'll just wait for the move. Good evening to the, how do I say your name? Adaladazim? I may have left out a syllable or two. Oh no, my ice. But oh yes, my water. Yeah, let me know where you're watching from. I should still be live on Twitch and YouTube. We're approaching an hour and a half into the stream. Got Silverback watching from Alaska. Andromeda Galaxy, nice. Got Netherlands, Saudi Arabia, Romania, Northern Virginia. Twitch chat appears to be a lot more active than YouTube chat. Although I think people who watch on YouTube are less accustomed to chatting. Maybe. Also, there might be more latency with YouTube. Okay, here's YouTube chat. Finland, Czech Republic, New Jersey, Denmark. Nice variety of places. Nigeria, England, Slovenia, Germany, Syria. Okay, we see King E1. Yeah, I was considering Rook B6 or Queen F3. Both look really good. I think I'll go for Queen F3. I don't think there's a clear threat. I guess if I play Queen F3, I have to address Rook B2 with idea Queen B1. Yeah, Rook B6 might actually just be better. Rook B6.
A full year.
To take over the file.
Always for the instructive content.
Let's do it. Thank you, SMMV1. Happy 1 year. Okay, so I can take with Queen. Controlling the only open file. So white is not yet ready to play Rook B1 because F2 would hang. I guess the question is what to do. Is there a way to make progress? I wanted to play a4, a3, but a4, queen b2, queen c2. I have rook f3 and queen f6. Then just king e2. It's still not easy. If I play this, there's like f3. Considering queen e6, which kind of abandons the b file, but okay, let's imagine if queen a4, then probably rook b8 looks good. Queen e6, idea would be to go in. Rook's still tied down. Queen b1. I go in. Everything's kind of tied down. Let's do it. There's more action, or more potential food on the king side compared to the queen side. Sometimes you have to smell where the food is. Okay, so h4. So if I play this, king would probably move. Let's start with this. If king e2, then this. Queen d1. Okay, so the queen's tied down to the rook's tied down to the pawn. I'm thinking rook b8. Just slide over. I'm trying to spread white thin. Like my rook and queen are acting like a butter knife. And this is my peanut butter. If king c2, maybe I go back and then invade via a4. Or king c2, a4, a3, and rook b2. And if white plays a3, then there's rook b3. Yeah, this actually looks really nice. a4. Put the pawn to work. Like, these pieces have done enough work. The a4 pawn is like my intern, who's actually doing some useful job. Still unpaid, but grateful to have him. So a3, rook b2. We might see this, but then the queen can go in. Yeah, it's kind of a sad position for white. There's so little active play. Oh no, my labor violations. Okay, this pawn deserves at least minimum wage. Maybe eventually we'll get a promotion. Is there any world where I play rook b3 and sack the rook? Probably not.
You are back, Smile.
I am back. Happy 48 months, Just for Pope. Welcome back. Thank you, thank you. I like the queen here, just ensuring the white queen is tied down. Like, it's almost complete paralysis for white. Yeah, a few moments ago I said, is there any world where I play rook b3? There might actually be. Like, if I play a3 and then move my other pawn to a4 and then rook b3. So after takes, then the pawns are more condensed. But still probably unnecessary. Like, I'd rather just play a3, rook b2 and snack on the second rank. I will say my opponent's done a good job to resist. It's another game where I don't think my opponent has made really any obvious blunders, but it's been very positional, very strategic, building up the gradual advantages. And that is one of the underlying like qualities of the opening repertoire that I've been playing is I think with a lot of the ChessMood openings, they're aimed to be very strategic, to have very clear plans, like when you enter the middle game. Okay, rook h1. So if I play this, just calculating the queen trade, like let's say this, and then take, and then take, and then a3, and then rook here, and then here, and then here. I don't have to trade queens. And there's queen f5 as well. But also, yeah, queen g2 here, and then queen f3. Looks pretty good. It's very possible I'll shift back with the rook. The rook doing some ping pong. I'm still dreaming of locking the king in. But that's only in a case where white's like completely paralyzed and I have all the time in the world. Which maybe someday will be the case. Welcome back to Rosen's Positive Energy. Yeah, if you're joining late, that's still okay. The chess is continuing. I've played how many games? I think this is my 5th game of the stream. Although I've kind of lost count. The weekly classical arena, 55 minutes left. Yeah, even if white enters my territory, let's say gets to e6, the king is still very safe on h8, as long as my rook controls the back rank. And for now, the queen is still tied down to the white rook. I will say, like, if I had the white pieces in this position, I would also probably take a lot of time, like try and figure out the path of greatest resistance. But it's tough, like when you're so much on the defensive, so few active resources. Yeah, queen f3. I did, like, earlier briefly calculate the queen trade, but there's no need. White could try and enter my territory with queen h3, but that completely abandons the white king, allows queen e2, and it's probably force mate. Okay, rook h3 is an idea. So maybe now is the time to swing back to that file. There's also queen f8, using some nice geometry. Actually, queen f8 is a force mate threat. Oh, I don't think white has any defense. It's actually a very aesthetically pleasing move. Get from f3 to a3, just 2 moves. Got some nice right triangle. Gotta do the Pythagorean theorem. What is it? So a squared plus b squared equals c squared? But what's a, b, and c? Just the length of the... Oh, c is the hypotenuse? It's been so long since I've done like any math. C is the hypotenuse, okay. When I was like 12 years old, I did a school project on Pythagoras. But I forgot most of the information. Okay, so I could take on f2. Everything's winning. Let's just play queen a3. And then take on a2. Yeah, the rook is ready to invade. No mercy. Okay. Pleasant game. Yeah, that all started with the Dutch attack. Conceding the bishop pair early on, but damaging white structure. And yeah, white was kind of holding their own for a while. Had this trade of knights. And then here I'm kind of curious if I made the right decision. Bishop e4 and d5. Engine slightly preferring e5, which I didn't go for. Maybe also playable. I just didn't see a follow-up here. Oh wow, so Engine does not like this for black. Says white is slightly better. Best move takes. Really? I take? King c1 take? Wow. I guess there's d5 coming. I don't have a way to exploit the king. Wow. Yeah, this could have gone weird. And it's still playable, still super sharp. Okay. I think I'm gonna end it there. I know the tournament's still going, but I'm getting tired. I'm still like recovering from a cold. So I played Was it only 4 games? Played 4 games this stream. Got to use the ChessMood repertoire, had a Dutch attack, had some French attacks, had a Grand Prix attack. So I hope people are enlightened, maybe somewhat entertained. If you want to learn the openings I played in more depth, do take advantage of the ChessMood gift for this month. chessmood.com/Rosen. Get free access through the end of June. Oh, thank you, Avram, for the super chat. That's super kind. Oh dear. Is this a question? If you were an action film anti-hero instead of a chess player, it might be terrifying to hear you're struggling to remember geometry and then saying, oh no, then saying no mercy before going in for the kill. Oh, that's not a question. That's just a very interesting thought. I appreciate the words and the support. I appreciate everyone who tuned in. Thank you all for the positive energy. I'll be back soon. Stay tuned, and goodbye.